achieved great heights and terrible lows throughout our time on Earth. We are a species capable of developing language skills, of inventiveness that brings us new technologies, and we use this to make leaps and bounds, both in positive and in negative directions. On the positive field, we have created brilliant works of art and philosophy. We have expanded, used advancements in medicine to be able to expand people's lifespans and raise their standards of living. We have been able to make the world a nicer place for its human citizens. But on the negative, we have used those same skills to create, as vehicles for our greed, to create weapons that cause war and massive suffering and pain for many. And we think that both of these things are integral to the human experience, and we think that both are critical to portray as part of the Voyager Golden Records. Throughout my speech, I'm going to tell you 3 things. I did not look at the time, so whoever did can give me their stopwatch. Excellent. So first we're going to talk about who we think is going to be receiving the message. Second, we're going to talk about what should be the content of the message. Thank you. And third of all, we're going to talk to you about why a balanced portrayal is critical for this message to be effective. So let's start with who we think is going to be receiving the message. Yes.
Can you please give some examples of what exactly the change from the current content?
We think that we're going to talk about the deepest depths of the human history. If we're talking about war acts, for example, in World War II, of genocides that have happened on Earth, of the worst of the worst. Yeah. So we think there's 2 major species that are going to be receiving this, and 2 major time frames that will be receiving these messages. Because the intended audience, the primary audience that we're writing, as was said in the motion, is extraterrestrials or future humans at a time when maybe humanity has ceased to exist on planet Earth. We think that in the near-ish future, this is not unlikely. We see already destruction of the Earth. We see that we have resource consumption at rates that aren't sustainable. We see that we have global warming, pollution. We see that the Earth might no longer be a stable home for humanity, and so possibly for some distant future generation of humans who has somehow managed to leave the Earth, we want them to see this. We also think there might be extraterrestrials out there that are cognizant, that we can discuss with, and that we do want to build a relationship with, so they're not. But we also want to talk about the modern time frame of people who are going to be seeing this, because the minute that these scientists compile this works, they are also likely to be publicized, and the modern world of 1997 can still see what they're saying. It will be published on eventually websites widely available to the public, and so we see this as also a reflection of the scientific community to the modern world of what they think. Sure. First.
Do you think it is an okay thing to represent the better side of myself in a first note?
We think that it depends on what you're looking for in that date. If you're dating and you want to have a relationship that leads to a long and solid marriage-oriented relationship, or whatever kind of partnership you choose to have of your state, then maybe you should offer a more balanced version of yourself. And we think that that's a totally common thing. So that actually brings us to what should be the content of the message and what's important about it. Because we're not talking about posterity for posterity's sake. What we think that the human race needs to express to future generations is something that they can use as positive criticism, as constructive improvement, and for lesson learning. Because we think that throughout humanity, we've had several examples of terrible things that have led to good things, of things that we have learned from, things that we've not been able to learn from. But to be able to truly build a better society, when you're receiving information, you need to see all of the parts of it. For example, when we talk about ancient Egypt, we know about a lot of positive directions that they've gone, and a lot of brilliant advancements in science and in art and in literature, but we also see that they had certain difficulties with governmental structures or with the treatment of disease and things like that. And we need to see both sides to be able to learn from it and improve my current society. And so if I'm a future generation and the modern world wants to teach them something, they need to be able to have a balanced perspective to be able to actually be able to learn. So I'll take closing. Oh my God, okay, yeah.
About extraterrestrials, given the fact that we don't know what these life forms are and in what way they communicate, how can we know anything about how they don't receive our messages?
That's a very, very good point. We think that that's true. We have no idea what their culture would look like. We have no idea what values they hold. We have no idea if they have slavery in their world, or if they are democratic, or if they are a dictatorial regime. And so we actually don't know what values that we send, if the values that we see as positive, they will also receive as positive. And so actually, if you're talking about a diplomatic mission, if you're talking about the fact that the human race today needs to send out information that will be positively received by a culture and a society that may later partner with us and help us with resources and house us on their faraway planets, we think that you actually have no idea how you want to present yourself. So if Dan is to go on a first date with someone that he doesn't know what her family structure is like, or what her family background is, he might not necessarily try to portray something that he sees as positive, because he has no idea how it will be received by the person that he's on a date with. So actually, if you're trying to talk about gaining diplomatic access to these societies and to these extraterrestrials, you might want to have a balanced portrayal, because you don't really know what they're going to see as good or bad. But my partner will tell you a little bit more about that. So, to sum up, we think that the most likely people that are going to see this are someone that we either meet something from these terrestrials in the future, or humans that no longer have any relationship with us because the Earth has collapsed in on itself, or something like that, and need to learn from whatever happened that made us get to this position. And so we think for that to be most constructively used, we need to see both the positive and the negative aspects of it.